the shit! Kill me now!
In this case, we are actually seeing how to operate when we only draw Kepler or Dark Contract. Basically, if we only draw the Dark Contract, we get Copernicus and send Lamia to graveyard, which will revive itself to send Dark Contract to the graveyard, and we will have two bodies. And we can use any two bodies to go to Yama, which will get us to Sharvara, and we can just set a spell or trap from our hand. And because we bricked, we possibly have full hand of spells and traps that we couldn't use. We can just use one of them, set them, pop them, and summon Sharvara, then link away for the Soul of Rage. Sharvara sets the escape, and we have 3 interruption board from a bricked hand. So this is the end board we can get with no extension, just from Ariane plus any trap in our deck, and I mean any normal trap. And there's a big reminder that I need to tell you, that when I say extension, I don't just mean an extension like drawing Lamia here, because Lamia obviously is an extension, but also any spell or trap in our hand is an extension for us. What do you mean by that? We can actually set Big Welcome and pop it with Sharvara in order to have an extra body. And because we have an extra body, we go for Beatrice instead of High Wave King Caesar and use Beatrice, Yama, and Sharvara to go into the Nightmare Griffin. And because we summoned Beatrice before, we actually sent anti-spell to the graveyard with the Beatrice, and Griffin gets us the anti-spell on the field. So we get to the 2 floodgate end board with only one spell trap drawn, in addition to Ariane plus any trap. But let's imagine we draw only monsters and we drew the worst ones. Like, for example, let's say this is Lady Labyrinth, this is another Griffin, another DD Griffin, and this is Kepler, let's say. These wouldn't be usable for us. Imagine that scenario, and in that scenario, we end with this end board. With this end board, we have 2 interruptions with High Wave King Caesar. High Wave King Caesar negates 2 summons, 2 special summon effects. Rage has 3 interruptions, 1 from itself, 2 from SP, because it links to SP. We have 1 from Escape, which totals 6 interruptions here. We can actually link away High Wave King Caesar to Divisor King like this as well. And in theory, we have more interruptions here, but the quality is less. What do we mean by that? The suck of the Divisor King is less quality in terms of interruptions compared to the High Wave King Caesar. Because this doesn't actually negate something, this just sucks the card that activated its effect on the board, which makes this more easily removable. And because this is more easily removable, this is not going to fulfill its full potential in most cases. Its full potential is 2 sucks by using the 2 contracts we have on the field to have 5 materials, and once it has 5 materials, it can actually suck 4 more times. So this is 6 interruptions by itself in theory, and we have 4 interruptions by having Escape and Rage with Yama in the graveyard. So this is in theory 10 interruptions from just Ariane plus any trap. But as I said, you are more than likely going to be leaving High Wave King Caesar in order to have the interruption board, because this is more fragile. Yes, it is more in theory, but it is a worse board. Trust me on this. one extender and we use Nightmare Throne only as an extender for once, we can actually use Nightmare Throne as two extenders by itself because it first produces a body, then we can use the body after it's linked away to summon the Phantom of Yubel. So we have two bodies from Nightmare Throne alone. Normally we can do that, but the purpose of this demonstration is to show you one extender with only one extender. From this, we get two recursions for the next turn. We get the search one from Dark Contract of the Gate and one revive from the Abominable Chamber, which will most likely revive the Shawarma that we lost. Nightmare Griffin is basically skill drain on our opponent for the most part, and anti-spell will protect Nightmare Griffin against spells that will try to remove it, like Lightning Storm and such, board breaker spells. And if they manage to destroy Nightmare Griffin, we have a backup with Lord of Yama, which will activate when Griffin is destroyed in order to revive it back. So the skill drain effect will be almost permanent in this situation. And the last card on our hand didn't matter. We actually started from the Small World package, so we got -1 in order to get to Ariane. And this is an amazing board with only one extender. Now, you can see that we can actually get more than one extenders very often. But let's see what happens if we try to do the board in the other way with one extender. What sort of a board with one extender can we do? With the interaction board, not the floodgate board, because this is our floodgate board version. And this is the other way we can use one extender in order to full combo. With one extender, we cannot unfortunately send Soul of Sharvara to the graveyard unless we go for Beatrice instead of High Wave King Caesar. If we go for Beatrice, we can send we can basically replace High Wave King Caesar with Beatrice and send Big Welcome plus Rollback, or we can send Rollback plus Black Goat Laughs, and we can actually use Black Goat's both effects, and this would protect our board further. And it all depends on the situation in these cases, but if we go for Beatrice, we can actually send Sharvara to the graveyard in order to set our trap as well. And just like the other board, we have Yama in our Yama in our graveyard in order to protect our board, mainly Soul of Rage. Soul of Rage has three interactions associated with it: Link Away, SP, SP. High Wave King Caesar has two interactions, both of them summon negates, so that's five on board. Divisor King can remove both of the contracts in order to suck once, two times, so that's seven. Then it will have three materials. With three materials, it can suck two more times, so this is nine interactions. If we go for the Beatrice route, Beatrice can send Black Goat Laughs plus Rollback. That means two interactions, just like High King Caesar. But the difference is we get one more interaction because we sent Sharvara to the graveyard, so we have the trap live. That's the difference. And I purposefully am not going for the Phantom of Yubel here because Phantom of Yubel is just something we get from the extension itself. And the point is to showcase Ariane plus any trap plus any extension. That's it. We did nothing else. We used nothing else in terms of resources. Now, let's check out what we can do with Ariane plus two extensions. So with two extenders, we can actually have Beatrice left on the board, and during our opponent's turn, we can use Beatrice's effect to send rollback if we have Big Welcome in the graveyard to copy Big Welcome's effect, or if we have Black Goat Laughs in the graveyard, we can copy the effect of Black Goat Laughs. And if we don't have either of those, if we have Imperm, we can still send it and copy Imperm. Lastly, if we have nothing in terms of relevant traps in our graveyard for rollback to copy, then we can send Black Goat Laughs, and Black Goat Laughs effect from the graveyard will be the interruption Beatrice produces. We have the skill drain from the Nightmare Griffin effect, and we have anti-spell. This was not meant to be Escape of the Unchained, this was meant to be the chamber, because we do not have the rage on field, and we get to protect Griffin against our opponent's interruptions by having Yama in the graveyard. With this on board, basically we have one interaction with our opponent and two very strong floodgates. And this was two extenders that can very naturally be produced, as you saw. Now let's see what we can do with two extenders on the interactive board side. So with this end board, we don't have the anti-spell. However, we have something more in between the traditional lock that we have with anti-spell plus Griffin and the interactive board. We have both the High Wave King Caesar, the Beatrice line, because we can send the rollback and then we can add the Black Boat Laughs or the Big Welcome in order to turn Beatrice into an actual interruption. We have two interruptions from the High Wave King Caesar, and we have the basically skill skill drain effect on our opponent. So this is two, and this is one floodgate. One floodgate, four interruptions, plus next turn we have follow up, plus we have protection with the Yama. And this was just two extenders.